This would be so much easier if we were just kind of I don't know like where to be Muhammad myself. Okay, we've been talking about Shimshon. We learned all about Shimshon. So now we have to do the Rabbi Tzadok inside and see if we can understand the very difficult sugya of Shimshon. Shimshon, take it line by line. The Shimshon, Shechashav Yaakov Olav Shehu Mashiach. We know that, one thing we know about Shimshon is that when Yaakov was giving the brachas to his sons before he died, he said, Don Yodin Amoy Ka'achad Shiftei Yisrael, and Rashi moves our Kama from over to after the word Ka'achad, not Ka'achad Shiftei Yisrael, but Don Yodin Amoy Ka'achad. Rashi says on that a couple of pshat, and one pshat is Ka'achad Shiftei Yisrael, like the Miyuchad of Shiftei Yisrael, that he considered him like Yehuda, meaning he thought he would be Mashiach, like Yehuda. We passed him, by the way, at the end, that Mashiach has to come from Yehuda, but Aval Imoy Midan. That's what Chazal. That's how we passed him. Nobody knows whose mother's from Dan. Yehuda, you have a chance. Maybe you come from David Rashi. If you come from the Maral, and the Maral comes from David, and David comes from, there's ways. Yehuda, but Dan, nobody knows who's from Dan, as far as I know, except for characteristic of it. There's a midah of Dan. But Yaakov Avinu said, Ka'achad Shiftei Yisrael is like Yehuda. Chazal say further than Rashi, the Chazal that Rashi gets it from is that Dan Yodin Amoy Ka'achad, or Ka'achad, Ki Yehuda Yishal Olam like Hashem. Ka'achad, like the Echad, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad. Like the only, the one and only one. What's the pshat? What's the connection between Dan and Hashem? So the answer is Shimshon, or any Mashiach that's going to have a Dan characteristic to him. What's the Dan characteristic? The Dan characteristic is Echad, total independence, the ability to stand apart from everybody. This is not the Yehuda thing. This is not the Yehuda thing. This is a Dan thing. Dan was Shepolton. The Gemorah says Shepolton min ha'anon. The Gemorah says Shepolton min ha'anon. All of Klal Yisrael was walking in the midbar, and they were protected in the confines of the Anonei HaKavod. And Dan Polton min ha'anon. They were thrown out of the Anon. Machlokes and Chazal, we'll get to it, why they were thrown out, but they ended up being in the back. And Ma'asif l'chol ha'machnos. Okay, so they picked up all the stuff everybody dropped, which is hafla. what that means. That being mala netzoitzes of. I think just use your imagination, your Kabbalistic imagination, to visualize what it means. What does it mean to pick up everything that Klal Yisrael lost over the generations? Shevet Dan, Ma'asif l'chol ha'machnos. So, Yaakov, when Yaakov thought, I just want to point this out, line 1 of Rabbi Tzadok, when Yaakov thought that Shimshon, which came from Dan, was Mashiach, what was he thinking? If we can go there at all, what was his nevuah? His nevuah is that there has to be an aspect of Mashiach which is Dan, and Dan is separatist, separate from the Machna. Dan Yodin Amoy Ka'achad. He was K'yichud Shalayim. We all talk about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We're all with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Hashem is separate from us. If not, it becomes Avodah Zarah.
Isn't that also the story of Shlomo?
Yes.
He couldn't separate himself, who was dependent on the people and therefore lost the market.
Excellent.
Perhaps this is not a second shot in Shem Shimshu. We said before that it was Shemesh, Rabana, with independence, but here is an aspect of being Mishamesh, the one who's guarding and holding on to whatever these, picking up these mitzotos and making sure that we don't lose whatever we might be losing as a Klal Yisrael. He's Mishamesh also.
It could mean that we need him, but he doesn't need us. Like all of us.
Right, what you're both saying is, emes, that in other words, the echad doesn't mean standoffish. The echad, in order to have the protector, or the mishamish, the shemesh, it has to stand alone. Like it's this alone thing. This is where we're going here. It's very, very important. This standing apart from Klal Yisrael, standing apart, is a double-edged sword. Because on the one hand, we need to all be together. On the other hand, there has to be some degree of separation between a Mashiach and Klal Yisrael. You know, it's said, when I say it's said, all the Sfarim HaKadoshim, that Mashiach has to come from whom you least expect it. Mashiach must come from out of the box. Because when you're in the box, ein chavush matir zatzmei b'peis ha'asura. If you're out of the box, trust me, very painful situation to be out of the box. If you're not like going with the flow, you know, you're not part of the fiber of everything that's going on in the system. So it's a very uncomfortable place. But Mashiach has to be in that uncomfortable place, because how can you be misakid something from the inside?
That's how Moshe was a nigga.
Moshe had to come from the, and the eights of Yisrael had to come from, and even Bilam. So other stuff had to come. You know, as I mentioned on Monday, with the whole nevuah, the ikar nevuah of Mashiach comes from Bilam. What did Rabbi Akiva study with his Talmidim when he wanted to know if Mashiach of Parkach was Mashiach? Dorach koichav miyakov. That's what he studied. He didn't study Yeshayahu, he didn't study Yirmiyahu also, I'm sure, but I mean, like his pasuk was, the pasuk of Bar Kochva is Kochav, Dorach koichav miyakov. So I'm just saying this nakuda here of the double-edged sword. On the one hand, like you want to be, you have to be with the people, of the people, for the people, all the people. Like it's one with the people. On the other hand, there's something outstanding and standing out, and therefore automatically unaccepted, which is going to come from the chutz, like Moshe Rabbeinu, from the chutz, and be megala, and to the geula, Goel Yisrael. Like Hashem. Ka'achad.
Is this the middle only for the Mashiach, or we should all teach ourselves to be a little independent from that?
Well, yeah. So we have to be a shtickle Mashiach on a micro level. So we spoke about like the independence, even in the Mahu Avata of the Bria, Mahu Racham, Avata Racham. All requires independence, but independence, I'm just saying, independence, the ultimate independence is Mashiach. Ultimate independence is Hashem. Shliach Hashem has to be independent, but independence is not so pashut. It's not so pashut to be independent. It's not so easy to be independent, and it's not so easy for the people in the bulk, in Klal Yisrael, to say, who are these guys? Shepolta mina anan. How you will remember? I think the Medrash Tanchuma says in Parshas Kiseitze on the pasuk, Va'ata, Amalek was chasing us from the back. Va'ata, who was in the back? Dan. Oyev. V'yageya. V'lo yarei elikim. Mazeh. Lo yarei elikim. Zu shevet Dan.
Too far out.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Tanchuma says, just remembering at this moment, Tanchuma, Parshas Kiseitze, Shevet Dan, that since they're on the outside, so on the inside, everyone said, Lo Yarei Elikim.
Wasn't the Pesach
We can relate.
Micha also associated with Shevet Dam?
Pesel Micha. You're sharp today.
Yeah, of course.
So is the past.
Is this connected with Ein on the Medad Yishkon?
Hey, no, look at what he's going, yeah.
On the Makbet Litterman, on the level.
Klal Yisrael itself is the
Like, so it has to
Lezer.
be Avril Lanar or something. Is it all one name?
So yes. But it's so interesting to me. I just can't get past this idea of ma'aseh l'chol ha'machnas. So ma'aseh l'chol ha'machnas. You can't be the catcher if you're part of the game. Like you have to be a little bit outside of it. So the ma'aseh l'chol ha'machnas. This big truck that's coming at the end of Klal Yisrael, gathering up all of the netzitzes. All the netzitzes of Klal Yisrael that fell through the cracks. So there has to be Shevet done. So Shimshon shechashav Yaakov. So this is all Yaakov Avinu's thinking, not mine. Yaakov Avinu thought that Shimshon was Mashiach. Shimshon shechashav Yaakov olav shehu Mashiach. What does it mean to be Mashiach? Let's review this again because it's the most important thing that we're learning here in the whole Rabbi Tzadok. She is sakein. Chet Adam Harishan Lagamri. Mashiach is not the peacemaker. Mashiach is not the Talmud Chacham. Mashiach is the one who's Masakein the Chet Adam Harishan Lagamri. Adam Harishan messed up. Mashiach has got to fix it. Moshe Rabbeinu was Mashiach. Moshe Rabbeinu was the ultimate potential Mashiach. Noach was the ultimate Mashiach. Zeh Yinach Ameinu Yoshik Yadeinu. The one who's going to be masaking the chet of Adam Harishan. Okay, so Shimshon somehow, Yaakov Avinu thought, could be Mashiach, meaning that he can be masaking the chet of Adam Harishan. Anybody understand how he's going to be masaking the chet of Adam Harishan? What was the chet of Adam Harishan? What's Shimshon going to be masaking? We know both stories. We know the story of Adam Harishan.
And not listen to his wife.
No, that's how he messed up.
I'm saying that he should have not listened to him.
But what's the deeper? I mean, how was Adam Harishan? Okay, the chet came about because he listened to his wife. True. Adam, Shimshon. They both listened to their wife. So we know that's bad.
You turn the recording off there.
Look, Avraham Avinu didn't want to listen to his wife. It was Xer Sarkosim. Xer Sarkosim. He had to have him before Shadibur to listen to his wife. Like Behechates. So let's see. Amar Alav, so Yaakov Avinu said on Shimshon, the Yodin Amay Ke'echad, or Ke'achad, V'darshu Chazal Ki Yichudu Shel Olam. That's what Yaakov Avinu said, that done, it's going to be Shimshon, he's going to be the Mashiach. Not only that, says Rabbi Tzadok, V'nikra al Shem Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he's got the same name as HaKadosh Baruch Hu, K'moy Mashiach, just like Mashiach will have the same name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I don't know what it means with Mashiach and David, but somehow or another, whatever Mashiach's name is going to be, it's going to be the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In the case of Shimshon, the Gemorah says before, Ki shemesh u'mogen Hashem alikim. Ki shemesh u'mogen Hashem alikim. By the way, it's two sets of steer, no? Like either you're the sun or you're the sun guard. The shemesh u'mogen is... Right. It's a Zachar and a Nekeva. It's two sides. Shemesh and Magin. Hashem Elikim. Just let's go there for a minute. I mean, there's a lot of things here, but we've been learning a lot about Shimshon. Hashem is Midas Harachim. Elikim is Midas Adin. Don is Din. How do you know? Sounds like Din. Also, Rachel said, when she named Don, Donani Elikim. Okay, Nikrishmoy Don. It's all about din. So din is a big part of what we're talking about over here. Shimshon, Shemesh U'Mogen Hashem Elikim. Yeshuascha kivisi Hashem. It's interesting. Nikra al Shem Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu K'may Mashiach V'chein Tzadikim L'Azeh K'may Shamar Chazal Ki Ha'Yeroy Liskois L'Zeh. Shimshon could have been all of this Mashiach stuff, except for Ilmale Ha'isha Likros. That's a pasuk of Mishlei. If not for his wife that pulled him down. If not for his wife that came to greet him and say, "Don't do that. Don't do that." I just want to theorize here for a moment. What did Chava say to Adam? What did the Nachash say to Chava? The Chava said to Adam. What was the conversation there? The conversation was, you too can be godly. It's a good thing, no? to be godly. Right. Independent is, you too can be Kelokim, Yodea Toy V'Ra. That was the chet. The tikkun has to come about by being godly. It's like so deep. It comes from being godly and being ke'echad, and being standalone and being from the outside and outside of the box, but not taking it for yourself, doing it for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So the whole tikkun has to be exactly like the chet. That's what a tikkun is. A tikkun has to be like the chet.
Why isn't it being mevatel yourself from scratch and just being humble? Why?
In order for there to be a tikkun, there has to be the chet. Look at Hilchos Tshuva. When did you do tshuva? When you're bosa makom, bosa isha, bosa koach, v'lo yavar bnei hamitzvah, bnei shah bnei haver. The Rambam says. If it would have been just somebody who said, I don't want to be like God, just mevatel myself to Hashem. I'm not looking for power here. That's nice, but that's not a tikkun. The tikkun is that you go through the exact same thing that Adam Arishan went through, which is you could be like Hashem, Yodea Tov V'Ra. You could be ki yichudai shel olam. You're like yichudai shel olam mitzad echad, but mitzad sheni, you're willing to give it all to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So, in order to do a tikkun, you have to have the tikkun has to have in it the chet.
It's so independent that I'm not dependent on being like God. I don't know if I just made sense.
Say it again.
I'm so
you talk about the tikkun or the chet?
The tikkun. I have to be so independent that I cannot even be dependent on trying to be like God so hard, so strong.
So I'm not sure what that means, but it's just just to bring it down to where we live. It's so simple that independence is a double-edged sword. Mitzad echad, al tifresh min hatzibur, and why do you have to be different than everybody else? And what's all this uniqueness about? Just go with the flow and go with the system. Har Sinai, vayichan Yisrael neged ahar ki ish echad, v'leiv kelev echad, v'leiv echad, nefesh echad. Everything is one beautiful, right? Cozy. Mitzad sheni, you can't be Mashiach that way. So Adam Arishan, the chet was that Adam Arishan was the ultimate Mashiach, the ultimate Mashiach, which you wouldn't have even needed. There wouldn't have been any Misa. You don't even need Shlit'a. There wouldn't have been any Misa altogether. But so he wanted to become independent, but so independent that he wanted to be independent of God. So the trick is to be independent and not be independent.
The Dora Flaga also, Hashem separated everybody into different languages. And it seems like language is what was the downfall of Adam Arishon. It was the downfall of Shimshon, listening to somebody else's language.
And the communication. But what's for sure, okay, we're going to think about that. But what's for sure with the Dar HaPalaga is that Vanasa Lanu Shem, let's be independent. It was all beautiful. It was all very beautiful. Independence could be very, very the most important thing in the world. Like you're mamish like Hashem. But if you're mamish like Hashem, so then you're not listening to Hashem and you're not doing the tikkun. So this is the double-edged sword that we're dealing with. So Shimshon could have been Mashiach.
It may be helpful to just go back to Shimshon and just to pause for a minute and make an observation. Here we see, in the storyline, we went through a couple of days to understand just
What happened?
what happened. And one of the things that stands out that's like, what's going on is, why is he going after these ladies? And why is his family even facilitating it with, celebrations? And here we see that on the inside, he must be tapped into that he does have this tafkid, this tikkun that he needs to make, and he has to go to that
very
place
important.
to make it happen.
Very important. Oisha Yisha. Very important, what you're saying. Meaning, I pointed out on Monday that what's with all these Mashiachs and the women? David HaMelech, Bathsheba, Shlomo HaMelech, Yehuda and Tamar. It's very simple. That exactly to answer your question. You can't be Masakin, the Chet of Adam Arishan unless you're Boy Seibakar. So it's only Yehuda and Tamar, David and Bathsheba, and Shlomo HaMelech, and his wives, and Shimshon and Delilah. This is the only way to be Masakin.
Yosef. Yosef.
Yosef, Sheikh and Yosef. Mentioned Yosef last time. Well, it's over and over and over again. It's so passionate. Like, it's not that their downfalls are by women. True. that's not,
It's interesting that Moshe separated himself from his wife.
Right. His wife disappears.
Yeah, right.
Suddenly, but it's also interesting that they, right, like, what about your wife? Like, Oidais Haisha.
Let's say he's a connector.
Right. I once told the story, just want to tell it again just to illustrate the point, the Balatanya. It's a very important story that, by all the rabbis, where the minig was with the Hasidic rabbis and the tzaddikim, that if somebody did an avera lo yaleinu, so they would go to the rabbi and ask for a tikkun, ask how to do tshuva. Today, people ask to be a bracha on pardos. The ikar of the connection to the tzaddik was, how do I do it? How do I get a tikkun? And it was the minig. The Baal Shem Tov put forth the minig of the Admorim was always to find the chet within themselves. If they don't find the chet within themselves, then they're not going to be able to relate to how to do a tikkun. It's the same thing. How can I help you if we're in a different place? So very difficult sometimes to find the chet. But if you're a big enough chacham and a tzaddik, so you didn't do the same chet mamish, into that chet, but you can find the shemetz or the shorish of the chet within themselves, and then there's the tikkun that we bring ourselves up together. That was really the avoda of. That's really one of the big avodas of the Baal Shem Tov, to be able to do that. So I mentioned the story that the Balatanya. Somebody came to the Balatanya and he said that he did a chet that he needs to do a tikkun for, and what's the chet? That he raped a dead woman. I always forget what that aver is called. What's it called?
Necromancy.
Okay. It's like the ultimate perversion, no? Raped a dead woman. Like what kind of a sick thing is that? Like, he goes to the Balatanya. This is I have to do tshuva for. The Balatanya said I can find a shurish for my chet in anything, but I can't find a shurish for that to me. I just have no, I don't even understand like that. And it's a horror. It's not something I can understand. It's not something I can think about, talk about. It's not something. It's too much. Every day. So he said I can't help you. And the story is that as he was walking, the man threw this is what you did. They put a coin on the table for the Rebbe. Thank you anyway. Thank you for trying to help me. So he gave a pidyon nefesh to the Rebbe. The Rebbe looked at it, and it was it was engraved on the coin one of the beautiful Russian queens, famous for her beauty. She was engraved on the coin, and when the Balatanya looked at it, he saw himself being nimshach after that surah for a second. A holy nefesh that felt this even. Dimshach after a tzura, and he said, look, she's a dead shiksa, engraved on a piece of metal. And Dimshach told the person, come back, I could give you a ticket. I could give you a ticket. He found someplace, in it. The tikkun has to be part of the chet. So hence you have your point that the Mashiachs of this world always have to have the Nisayan Ha'isha. Why? Because Adam had the Nisayan Ha'isha. And the fallings of these Mashiachs, the failures of these Mashiachs, is going to be, if they don't do the tikkun, is that, okay, you fell into the same trap as Adam Arishan. So you're a potential Mashiach, like Adam Arishan, but you're not the Mashiach because you didn't do the tikkun. Like the whole thing is to go there. Upirish, says the Rambam, and I was pirish for the Aver, loy bipnei chalishus hakoyach, loy bipnei hazikna. Not because of anything, but it means the Rambam says that a person is nishol Aver with an isha. The only way, not that you have to necessarily do this, but in potential, it means to say that ad shepaga ba'oisa ish has to be the same woman, and you're not old, you still have the same taiva, and it's the same place. You meet her again at the French Riviera, and everything is just perfect, and the music and the lights, everything is perfect. Well, pirish v'loyasa came mipnei atshuva. That's what the Rambam says. Then there's a tikkun. So the tikkun is not to walk away from it. That's better than doing it, but it's not the tikkun. So the ultimate tshuva, when you think about it, we're saying something very, very deeply, very, very simple. Not like the ultimate, how do you get Mashiach to come? Tshuva. What does tshuva mean? Tikkun. The ultimate tshuva, tikkun, as the Rambam puts forth in Hilchos Tshuva, the ultimate tikkun is to be ba'osa matzah, ba'osa isha, and to be masakin. And so then Shimshon, in that sense, could have been Mashiach. So we have two nakudas here. One is the total independence like Hashem. Let's not lose Cheshbon. And the total dependence on the Isha, one message, strike one. Using the independence Lara, strike two. So there's two problems that can be with a failed Messiah.
Why are we focusing on Adam rather than both Adam and Chava? It seems like the Nachash should also be part of the Tikkun. And then
Don was
the Kavanah.
What did Yaakov say about Don? It's Kenachash. Moshe Rabbeinu says Kenachash. Zanik min Abashim. It was Kenachash. Alesus, Alifesus. We need to. That was also part of it. Let's see if we go another line further. So Shimshon was the Nazir Hashem that was able to be Mashiach, meaning he was able to be as independent as Mashiach, and he seemed to have the attraction to women like Mashiach, because otherwise what tikkun is he going to make? So we're almost there. And you understand how being almost there is almost completely out of it, right? So he's independent. He doesn't have an army. He doesn't even have a gun. He's just fighting with a jawbone. He's maybe it's this Plishti woman. Maybe it's that Plishti Zaina. Finally he comes to, right? We've got three women in the story. Finally he comes to Delilah. And Delilah, Ilmale Ha'isha Likrasai, that would have been, if he would have been Omed ben Nisayon, at that moment, then he would have gotten rid of all the Plishtim. Getting rid of all the Plishtim is the prerequisite of Mashiach, redeeming Eretz Yisrael as the Jewish land, getting rid of the occupied enemy, getting rid of the Plishtim. Eretz Yisrael would have been here, and Mashiach would have been here, and that would have been the Tikkun Achet. Except that Dil Delo Ishtan put him right in the hands of the. I was thinking, I don't know if this is right, but the Gemorah says that a summa is daima lameis. A blind person, daima lameis. What's the connection? Bad to be blind, but what's the connection to a summa daima lameis? a summa is the ultimate dependence. Ultimate dependence. It's like a mace. Like a mace wants to move, you got to move me, right? Whenever the Gemorah wants to give an example of somebody who can't move, talks about a mace. Like I'm Kevin Shane like so they were menaker einay Shimshon. They took Mr. Independent and they made him totally dependent until the Tanakh says that Vayidaber al Hanar, he's being led by the Nar. Put my hand against the pillars. Like here's the Mr. Gibor, Shimshon HaGibor, who's saving the whole Klal Yisrael with his independence, becomes the ultimate dependent. Like amazing. Would you want to say something? V'tikunai haya. Now, this is all that is pshita. Here's interesting. Now, what does Shimshon do now? He messed up with the Isha. What does he do now? What's the tikkun now? But tikkunai haya rak b'mashahemis es atzmeim aplishtim. The only tikkun he could do now is Tamais Nafshi im Plishtim, the Rabbim Shehemis b'moisemi b'chayav. And as the pasuk says, that he got rid of more Plishtim with his death than he got with his life, with all of his wars. 3,000 on the roof and 10,000 all around. Tamais Nafshi im Plishtim. Why? Let's think for a minute. Why is that his tikkun now at this point? Here's the Mashiach. He messes up with Delilah Shadildala Koicha. She brought him down and she lost his koach. And now he realizes that his only tikkun is now he's a summa. He failed with this woman. I just read like a fascinating study of interviews with people that were unsuccessful in their suicide attempt. Meaning, most people that commit suicide, it's very difficult to interview. Right. They're not there to tell the story. So, so there's probably a lot of stories there at the bottom of Niagara Falls. These were people that not backed out, but were unsuccessful. They jumped off a roof and they got stuck in a tree or something like that. Yeah, like never.
Even that I'm bad at.
Can't do anything right. So the Tzad of Shava, I was surprised. Maybe you're not surprised. Suicide is not something that, frankly, I can relate to. I have a hard time with blood tests. Suicide. What's the common denominator was that as they were falling off the roof, they said to themselves, "This is stupid. What am I doing this for?" Like none of them, they realized, as they pushed the trigger, they realized that this was a mistake. Interesting, huh?
Don't they say that logically somebody who jumps off gets buried regularly because probably
But you jump. So, okay, what's the tikkun? I'm just saying the tikkun of Tabos Nafshi and Plishtim. How is that a tikkun for everything that Shimshon? Let's just learn this together. How is that a tikkun for everything that Shimshon could have been and wasn't because he allowed Delilah to give him over to the Plishtim? He could have done this tikkun of being independent. And so, what's the answer?
I'm not going to let them kill me. I'm going to die my own way.
So he crawled into total dependency. Here they're leading him around, blind, no hair. Like this was completely and his only show of independence would be that Tavos Nafshi pleased him. I'm willing to give up my life.
I'll die on my own terms.
Like to die al Kiddush Hashem.
Well, he died with Hashem for that.
Right. So to die al Kiddush Hashem, that's suicide bombing. I don't know what they're. To die al Kiddush Hashem is the ultimate not giving into any of the things that my body is saying that I want. Right? I mean, so I'm going to assume that as he's bringing down the house, Shimshon, he's not saying, "What am I, stupid?" What he's saying is, "Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Tamois nafshi in plishtim." If I'm actually willing to give up everything for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so think about it. Isn't that the ultimate in independence and a dependence on Hashem all at once? Isn't it?
That's the right.
But we don't want to go there necessarily. I'm just saying that's. Think about what it means to die al Kiddush Hashem. Go ahead. I'm willing to die al Kiddush Hashem. Make my day. What it means is that I'm totally not concerned about anything in this world. I'm only concerned about HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So if you're willing to die, then you are completely independent. The only thing that at the end we're all afraid of is, losing our money, dying, getting sick. If you're not worried about anything, so then you're completely independent. You can do whatever you want.
Takes us back to Yitzchak Avinu.
Mamish. Mamish the akin. So the back to, like saying better, that takes us, like that was the Nisayan. The Nisayan the Nisayan, he could have been Mashiach too. The Nisayan of total independence. Asar Nisyaynais, you have total independence. The ultimate test. So the ultimate test of Shimshon that he passed was Tamois Nafshi and Plishtim. Do you hear me on this?
Yeah. The independence can only come about by being dependent on something. I mean, if we were created without that independence, so then there's no Messiah. I mean, is that the tikkun with all these women? Is because
I'm not sure even.
The Eizer Kinegdo, Chava was there. She was in the picture, and all these women were in the picture.
I mean, the Messiah of
the Messiah can only be. The only way to be successful is that you have to have been dependent upon something to create that independence. Right? If it's not, if you were born independent, there's no Messiah. Okay, I'm independent from everything else.
Then there's no tikkun.
Right, there's no tikkun. They had to have the woman.
Of course.
Codependence we were talking about is that you have to. HaKadosh Baruch Hu put that into the play.
The Nisayan of codependence. The Nisayan of codependence, the ultimate tikkun of the Nisayan of codependence is that I'm there and I'm willing to be Tamois Nafshi and Plishtim. Look, I just want to make this a little easier so we don't all walk away like jumping in front of cars or something it doesn't have to. He doesn't have to be Magia Dover to Misa. The question you have to ask yourself is, at the end, how much am I worried about myself and how much am I worried about the Kvod Hashem? In other words, what am I willing to, like this Mesiras Nefesh doesn't have to be, you don't have to die. That's what he did. That was his situation. That's what Yitzchak did. That's what Rabbi Kiva did. But in other words, Rabbi Kiva said this clearly, right? This is only when am I going to be able to do this? Have total to show my total allegiance and independence from anything in this world. But any time a person chooses Ratzon Hashem over personal taiva, whatever that is, it could come from not buying that particular brand of chewing gum, whatever it is. But anytime I make the right choice, where it's not about me, but it's about the right thing and the right cause, then I've become a gever. I've become a Mashiach in this sense. So Don had this mila. Midas Adin. It's the Midas Adin. He could be rough on himself if he needs to be.
And he saved the Jewish people in so doing.
He did save the Jewish people. It wasn't minor Mashiach.
Maybe that's
Yaakov Avinu thought he would be the big Mashiach. He'd be the big one. But that's so Mashiach. So we talk about independence, meaning independence from everything that's being Moshe. That would be the tikkun of Adam Arisha. Isha is the Rosh Kol HaTayvus. Isha.
Maybe that's what Rapro was meant earlier, and if I'm reading into it, but that she's an Azer Kenegdo. The proper modality is she's an Azer, gets drawn in, but then Kenegdo. You need to.
That is
be
what you meant, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what I understood.
Yeah. Okay.
It's the deep shot and Ezer connecting.
What have you done when you were second? I was going to say you were second faith. The Desha speaks about Nekama as restoring the Kvod Shemayim. Is that what's going on here as well?
Look, what's Kvod Shemayim? Kvod Shemayim is there's no covet unless I'm willing to put your covet before my covet. Right? If I'm giving you a covet, so I let you walk in the door first. If I'm giving you a covet, I pour your drink before my drink. So if I put a Kadosh Baruch Hu or Shemayim, I think Kvod Shemayim is different than Kvod Hashem, by the way. Kvod Hashem is a little bit amorphous for me. Kvod Shemayim means the purpose of this world, what's right in this world, what's right in this world. There's certain things that are right. You know. I just want just a personal thing. I'm saying to Ellis, there's one madrega to talk the talk. There's another madrega to walk the walk. Many people don't talk the talk either. They're too busy worrying about what this one's going to say, what that one's going to say. It's very difficult to be able to stand up for what's right. But even those that talk the talk don't always walk the walk. Meaning, it's even if they could say it, I'm not saying fakers. It's another madrega. One madrega is to understand what's right and what's wrong, and to talk about it, but to actually do it, and put yourself in that kind of sakana, where whether the sakana is being ostracized or whether the sakana is being killed. I'm not sure which is worst. Not even if people know it's right, they don't necessarily have the koach to do it, which is perfectly understandable considering Shimshon, Adam, etc. But you're so right, by the way, what you say about Avraham and Yitzchak, that they didn't have to do it. That's a very simple thing. Now I know you're Elikim. Ad kedei kach. Is it good enough to daven every morning? Is it good enough to the Bachas? Ad kedei kach. The answer is Yirei Elikim Ata means that it's not about you, it's about me, it's about the cause. So I'm just saying that a lot of people are, Avraham Avinu certainly would have said that he would have done this. To actually do it is a very, very, it's very difficult. I've had this decided. There are certain things, I'm sure everybody's had, I'm just speaking personally here, but there's certain things that you just know it's wrong, even though the whole system is doing it. You just know it's wrong. And you talk on it, you speak on it, but the question is, are we really willing to put ourselves on the line for it? I say, well, okay, that's number 4 on my causes. I don't know if I'm ready to die yet. Is it right? Is it? Am I there ultimately yet? It's a very, very. It's a different level of Messiah. It's a different level of Messiah. It's a difficult. But what it ultimately comes down to is that if I say right, that a person is able to be menatek themselves and get closer to Rabbi Akiva or Shimshon of Tamais Nafshi in Plishtim, what was going on there with Delilah anyway? It must have been. I don't know. Are we allowed to say it must have been a strong romantic passion? We read the Psukim. I read the Psukim. I laugh. I find it very funny, but there's a lot of Torah Shabbat that was probably going on between pasuk and pasuk. So we can read the Psukim. This is a relationship that was going on. It was a do you really? What did she say? Do you really love me? Do you really love me? Well, the question is, but I love Hashem more. So a very, very complicated when you think about it. It's not funny. Like the difference, the split in passion. The passion's going this way, the passion's going that way. Like Avram Avinu needs that. You know, I love my son. It's Bincha, Sher Ahavta, it's Yitzchak. Yeah, but what about me? So at the end, HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't take Yitzchak away. That's what the Mesiras Nefesh, the Tamas Nefesh. So that's the Mashiach. So we understand what it is. We understand that it's Adam Arishon. So far, we can understand Adam Arishon making himself independent of the tikkun is to make himself independent of the Isha, and where that failed, being able to the tikkun now has to take on an extreme level of independence, and the extreme level of independence is I'm willing to die. If I'm willing to die, then I'm misaking the chet. The only problem is, what does Rashi say? Ubazeh asayim. Rashi brings the Chazal. Here's the problem: that gitech v'yodech bain kachas. Okay, but now he died. Once you die, you can't be Mashiach anymore. The ultimate tikkun of the chetem of the Marishan was that he had to die. He could have done it without dying. He could have done it b'chayav, but he didn't. He messed up, so now he did it with dying. So Yaakov Avinu said, "But once you die, you're not Mashiach."
That's also a level of independence. Because it's not about me anymore.
I don't need to be Mashiach.
Yeah.
I don't need to be Mashiach. Dying is a deal breaker. Unfortunately, I mean, I don't want to frag up most of the religions in the world. I do, but once you die, you can't be Mashiach. That's it. It's the end of the story. So you have to. Okay, well, he didn't die. Okay, so Elvis is Mashiach. But the point is that if you're going to do it, and you're going to be Masakin, you're only going to be Masakin for yourself. Now you can't be the ultimate savior of Christ.